Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Lauren, and I am here to walk you through a Vinyasa practice where we will focus on twisting. So we're going to focus on twisting our spine. Sometimes twisting is going to take a lot of work, and sometimes twisting is going to be easy and comfortable and relaxing. And sometimes we're going to twist in our lower back, our mid back, sometimes our upper back. And so really just notice how each of these movements feel in your body. Remember that even though things might feel challenging, like they often do in Vinyasa classes, they should still be comfortable, accessible. You should be able to breathe. You're never holding your breath. That's a major one. Okay. You don't need any props. We're going to start on our back, and we will get started. So come on down onto your back. So come on down to your back in a comfortable position. We'll take some time here to settle in. So find a comfortable position and then let your body rest. Let your body soften. Let it really feel at ease here. Imagine all of your muscles releasing any tension. Imagine all of your joints letting go of any stress. Allow your physical body to be at ease. And as you let your body rest, your body soften, focus on your breath. Draw your attention to your breath, a soft focus on your breath, where you simply notice the way that you breathe. Noticing how relaxed your breath is. How soft and steady the breath is. And again, continue throughout the practice to check in with your natural breath. Your breath is a tell. Again, if you're ever holding your breath, that's your body sending you a signal that you are doing too much. You should always be able to breathe. So notice this feeling of breathing with ease, without effort. Take a few more breaths here. Now, as always, you're welcome to stay with your natural breath. That's a version of pranayama, a type of pranayama, anapana, just observation of the natural breath. And you absolutely can stay with it. But I'll walk you through a breathing technique called samavritti. We'll move through the two-part version where The inhalation and the exhalation will be of the same length. So I'll walk you through it this time, and we'll focus on lengthening both, again, the inhalation and exhalation. I'm going to encourage you to lengthen the breath a little bit more every few rounds, but again, you're always welcome to either practice your natural breath or just come back to a smaller, shorter count as we progress. Okay, so to begin, exhale completely, push all of the breath out of your lungs. And now inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Return back to your natural breath. Notice how you feel. Now keeping your attention inward. If it feels right for you, maybe take the next few moments to set an intention for your practice. Reflect on a positive word or phrase and give yourself a few moments to silently and slowly repeat it, to allow it to settle in your heart. All right, and then slowly start to deepen your breath. And as you deepen your breath, create some movements throughout the rest of your body. Maybe rock your head side to side. Wiggle fingers and toes. Move arms and legs, and take a few moments to move however feels good. So again, throughout the practice, make sure you're listening to your body. Know that you can always take any modification or variation that suits you better. That's always an option. You can always go rogue. And not just in my class, or not just when you're doing yoga at home. When you're in public taking yoga with a brand new teacher you've never met, feel free to go rogue. Do your own thing if that's what you need to do. You know your body. Okay, we are gonna start still on our backs. We're gonna stay on our backs for a little bit. We're gonna get our spine moving and then core working. All right, so we're gonna start here. Arms can just rest alongside the body. I like palms down here. A little bit more grounding because we're not necessarily going to be working, but I just like palms down here. Okay, knees bent, feet flat, knees about hip distance apart. We're just gonna start with that small pelvic tilt. So remember that when we do these pelvic tilts too, like any movement, but the pelvic tilts, I think, especially so, I personally like to start the movement very, very mild and increase it as I go. The first few moments here is going to look very different from the last few moments that will be here. So something to keep in mind, that right out the gate, you don't want to come out with your most intense movements, right? So even in that way, even though the pelvic tilt is easy and we're going to build up to things throughout the next hour that will be more challenging, but even within the pelvic tilt, can you create sort of this gradual build, right? Okay, so keeping that in mind, inhale as you lift your back, lift your ribs, your belly button points a little bit towards your thighs. You're in a back bend. Shoulders down, seat down, but your mid back, low back is lifted. You're arching your spine. Exhale as you draw your spine into the floor, tuck your tailbone. Your belly button will point a little bit more towards your face as opposed to your thighs. And we'll keep moving. Inhale as you lift the ribs, lift the belly, belly button towards the thighs. Exhale as you draw the belly, draw the spine, draw the ribs into the floor, tuck the tailbone, belly button to the face. Now keep moving with your breath. Now again, maybe you start off really slow and really subtle and really mild. And then maybe these start to grow. We're gonna do a handful more, probably more than a handful. So you've got that time to sort of gradually build, especially things that are dynamic like this. You start off a little slow and you make each one a little bit more intense than the last, just a teeny tiny little bit more intense than the last one. And if you do that enough times and gradually enough, again, the first few will look very different from the last few. Okay, now as you're moving here through your pelvis, keep the shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed. Even though I mentioned palms down, palms are still relaxed. We're not pushing into the floor. And same thing here with the feet. Personally, I have a tendency to push my feet into the floor almost like I'm about to do a bridge, even though I'm not going to do a bridge. So can you just let your feet rest on the floor? Most of the time I'm cueing you to ground your heels and push into the floor, root down. But here, just let your feet be resting on the floor. There really shouldn't be any effort through the legs. Let them relax. Let's do about maybe 2 more of each here of this pelvic tilt, coming forward and back. Let's do one more. Okay, and then just allow your spine to just rest wherever it sort of falls, which is neutral, so sort of this halfway point between those two. Now we're going to add on to that. Now we're going to engage the core. So arms is still, palms down, alongside the body. We're going to do that pelvic tilt just one more time. Inhale, lift the ribs, lift the belly, lift the spine. Exhale as you draw down into the ground, and we're going to stay there. We're doing these toe taps. So push the ribs down, push the low back down, belly button points a little bit more towards the face. Even though your core is engaged, shoulders, arms, hands, relax. All right. So continue to draw your lower back down, your belly button down, your spine down, but slowly lift your right foot up like you're resting your right foot on a coffee table. We want the knee over the hip and the knee at the same height of the ankle, so your right knee makes a right angle. So when you look over your kneecap, you should maybe just be able to see sort of your big toe, maybe the next toe, but not the whole top of the foot. If you were wearing shoes, you would not be able to see your shoelaces, right? So that means the foot's too high. Okay, now keep drawing the belly down, keep the right leg where it is, let the left leg meet it. Bring feet together. Knees might touch, they might not, that's fine, but we want feet together. Okay, so again, you can sort of see the tips of your toes, your toenails, but not the tops of your feet, not where shoelaces would be. All right, belly button points towards the face. Keep the core engaged. Inhale as you slowly lower the right leg. Let the toe or some part of the foot lower down so it taps or maybe just hovers over the ground, and exhale as you bring it up. We're going to keep alternating. Inhale, left leg, let it lower down, tap or hover. Exhale, bring it back up. We're going to keep moving. Inhale as you lower the leg. Exhale, bring it up. Keep alternating. Inhale to lower. Exhale, bring it up. Now, notice what your spine is doing. The leg is moving, and that's it. Your core is engaged, so your torso should not have moved. Your belly button is still pointing towards your face. Definitely not towards your thighs, because you know what happens then? Your core doesn't work, and your lower back does, which is not what we want. Oftentimes when your core is either not in the correct alignment, or if your core, sometimes if it's just, if it's had enough for the day, it can't take any more, it's too tired, it's totally fatigued, then the lower back will start to chime in. So those are sort of two major times where if your core isn't working, your back will take on the work, and in neither one of those situations is that what we want. So we gotta make sure that you're feeling this in your core, not your lower back. We're gonna do two more each side, just like this. Keep drawing the ribs down. Keep drawing the lower back down, the ribs down. Tuck your tailbone, belly button towards the face. The legs are moving slow to ensure that the core, the front of the body, is still taking on this work. And can you relax your shoulders? Next time you come back up, make sure you finished, you're evened out. So you did it. You ended on the left. Okay, now both legs are up. Inhale. Exhale, let the right leg slowly lower all the way down. Keep that tuck of the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale, slowly let the left leg come all the way down. Keep that tuck of the tailbone. And then once both feet are down, let your legs relax. Maybe take a few movements however you want. A full body stretch. Hug the knees in. Let your abs relax a little bit. Okay. All right, so now, knees bent, feet flat. Now this time, arms will come out in opposite directions. We can let the palms just face up. If you don't have the room, arms alongside the body, just maybe a little bit out at a diagonal is good. But palms will be up here. Feet and knees either together or hip distance, but just let them sway side to side. All right, so this is where your abs can sort of relax. When we take a twist, it allows when we take a twist like this, let me specify. I'll get into what I mean in a moment, but when we take a twist like this, a more passive, one that doesn't take quite as much work, right? This takes a lot less work than what we were just doing. This allows our abs to stretch. So this should feel pretty good. Let your legs fall sort of over to the sides, just let them sway. And here we're twisting. But just because this twist is stretching our abs and is a little bit more passive and is a little bit more about flexibility and just stretching and feeling good, doesn't mean all twists are like that. And again, I won't even just need to tell you, I will show you in just a moment. You will experience it for yourself. But let your legs go to each side about 2 more times. Taking this twist, just at a comfortable pace. All right, and then we'll return back to the center. All right, now this time, palms are gonna face down, grounding. We're about to do some work. So same sort of thing as before. We're gonna do a pelvic tilt once, and then you're gonna maintain that tuck of the tailbone, and then we're gonna lift the legs, move the legs, work the core. Okay, so, but we're gonna add a literal twist to it. So inhale as you lift your back, lift your spine, belly button towards the thighs, arch the spine. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the ribs down, keep it there. Okay, so core is engaged. Notice where you feel this in your core. Even with your feet on the ground, you should feel this. So notice that you feel it sort of right in the center. Just kind of notice that feeling, because we're gonna add on to that. All right, so keep that tuck of the tailbone, lower back pushing down, ribs pushing down. Inhale as you lift the right leg up, knee bent at a right angle. You can just see those tips of the toes or toenails. Inhale as you lift the left leg up. Now again, feet are gonna come together. Knees may or may not touch. I'm okay with either way, but feet we want together. Knees stay at a right angle. Just to sort of feel it in your own body for a moment, draw your knees in towards your chest a little bit. Notice that it becomes much, much easier. That's not what we're trying to do. So make sure that your knees stay over your hips and that your shins are parallel to the floor. Again, I know it's tough to see, but you'll feel the work when you feel like, oh, this is so hard. You're in the right spot. Okay, so keeping all of that, shoulders relaxed, you're breathing, core is engaged, knees are at a right angle. You're gonna inhale, let your legs fall halfway over to the right, to about a 45-degree angle. Again, only halfway. Make sure that the left shoulder stays on the ground. Exhale, return the legs back to the center. Use your core to do it. Inhale as you let the legs fall halfway over to the left. As the legs fall halfway over to the left, right shoulder stays down. And you exhale, use your core to bring it all back together, really slow and steady. Inhale as you go over to the right, 45-degree angle, about halfway, left shoulder still on the ground. Exhale, return it back, use your core. Inhale as you go to the left, right shoulder still down. Exhale, return. Now we're gonna do a few more just like this. Now we wanna keep the back of the head and the backs of the shoulders firmly on the ground. That's our anchor. We need to stay strong and stable there. And the legs are just floating from side to side. There's not a whole lot of effort in the legs. You might be flexing the feet, and again, just keeping the feet up off the ground, but the work is in your core. Now, I really want you to think about using your core to return the legs back to the center. Not pushing the hands into the ground, not pushing the arms into the ground. Use your core. Think about drawing your navel back in towards the center, back. All right, let's do 2 more each side, moving with your breath. Now we're taking a twist here. We are still twisting. We are working as we twist. So again, some twists don't take any work, and some twists take an awful lot of work. We're gonna do 1 more on each side. You've got it, so stay with it. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep the arms relaxed. Palms are down, but you're not pushing palms into the floor. The work is in your abs. The work is in your torso, not in your limbs, not in your extremities. Next time you bring it back to the center, make sure you turn out even, or you end up even with everything back to the center. Inhale as you slowly let the right leg come all the way down to rest. Inhale as you slowly let the left leg come all the way down to rest. And then again, take some movements. Whatever feels good. Twist, stretch, hug the knees in, whatever you like. All right, 1 more breath where you're at. Okay. And then from wherever you're at, take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you rock from side to side here. let's come on up to a seat. So maybe you tuck your chin to your chest and you roll along the length of your spine, or however you need to get up. Come on up. All right. Let's take a comfortable seat. And now we're going to keep moving our spine without all the work we were just doing. So moving, but not working quite as much. Sorry, let me. Okay, all right. So lengthen up through the crown of your head. Really sit up as tall as you can sit. Notice that that means not drawing the ribs forward or back. Right in neutral, ribs are stacked right over the hips. Okay. Now we are gonna move in that way, but we wanna start in neutral. You wanna reset and every once in a while sort of come back to this neutral feeling to, this is gonna sound silly, but sort of to remember what it feels like. Because if you're constantly in the same type of movement in your back, in your spine, or in any spot in your body starts to think that that is a little bit more of neutral or the natural space for it. So you wanna come back to that every once in a while. All right, and then we're just gonna move. Inhale as you draw the belly forward, belly button towards the thighs. Lift your chest, lift your heart. You might even look up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, draw your tailbone back, belly button towards the face, chin to the chest, look down towards your belly. Inhale as you draw the belly forward, belly button to the thighs, lift the chest, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, draw the ribs back, belly button to the face, chin to the chest. Do just a few more. We don't need to be here long. We're keeping the shoulders and arms relaxed. Focusing on moving the length of the spine. Do one more of each. Okay, then return back to the center. From the center, inhale, lengthen the arms up, fingertips reach to the sky. Exhale, bring right hand down, so the left fingertips over. Reaching and opening through the left side of the body. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, switch sides, left hand down, right fingertips reach, reaching, feel that length, right side of the body. Move with your breath. Inhale and exhale. And again, we're gonna do just a few here. We're not gonna stay too long. But soften through your shoulders, soften your arms. Allow the emphasis to be your spine. So we're gonna be twisting the spine. We already have been twisting the spine. But lateral bends, these movements right here, help us open up for twists. Because in order to twist the side of your body, it needs to be stretched out. Let's do one more on each side. If you really think about it, drawing the shoulder and the hip away from each other in a twist, it's a different version of opening through the side of the body, but they're sort of like cousins in a way, the lateral and the twist. Okay, inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, take the twist, drop the arms, rotate over to the right. Inhale to the center, lengthen up. Exhale, drop the arms, take a twist to the left. Now again, a few more, just at the pace of your breath. Now as you reach your arms up overhead, make sure that the ribs don't poke forward. And I only say that because I noticed that mine wanted to, maybe yours wanted to as well. But we want to make sure that the ribs aren't drawing forward as the arms draw up. That again, the spine is just twisting, that you're not in a back bend and twisting at the same time. And not that that's impossible. There are a lot of poses where we do that. Let's do this one more time each side. There are some poses where we do that. That's just a really advanced twist. And we are just at the very end of warming up. You're pretty warmed up, but we're still just not there yet. Okay, inhale, return back to the center. Exhale as you release the arms all the way down. Okay, let's come into tabletop. We're done warming up. We're moving. All right. So come on into tabletop. I always like the blocks at the top two corners of the mat. Okay, so from tabletop, right from here, walk your hands one whole handprint closer to the top of the mat. Spread the fingers wide. Really push the base of the pointer finger down. Hook the toes under. Inhale as you lift your knees. Let them hover off the ground. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here.
Maybe you stay still, maybe you pedal the heels or take any other movement that you like, but let's take about 3 breaths here. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Rounding through the upper body. Let's stay here for a few breaths. Now you can stay still. You might take a movement here. Maybe that movement means bending one knee, straightening the other, and switching, similar to what you do in down dog. Maybe you grab onto opposite elbows and sway. Maybe you shake your head yes, shake your head no. But again, 3 more breaths here. Uttanasana, forward fold. All right, from forward fold, push the heels into the floor. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Push the heels down, inhale, rise up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe you add a back bend by lifting your gaze, looking up towards the ceiling, but exhale, bring the hands through to the heart. Take a deep breath here. All right. We are just going to keep moving. We're going to do a few half sun salutations, a few sun C's, a few sun A's. We are just going to get moving. So ground the heels, stand up tall, reach the crown of your head up, but soften your shoulders. Whenever we're starting, whenever you're in Tadasana, know that your hands can always be at your heart in Anjali Mudra, or they can be alongside the body. It's a personal preference. But take one big, deep breath here. Inhale, reach the fingertips up towards the sky, maybe even look up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down, inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe add a back bend, we're gonna keep going. Exhale, hinge at the hips, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Push the heels down, inhale, rise. Fingertips reach to the sky. One more, exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, ground the heels, make sure the legs are doing the work as you lift. We're gonna keep going. Exhale, fold, hinge at the hips. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back, all the way back, taking a runner's lunge. We'll take just a few breaths here. Hands can be down on the mat, or maybe you've got blocks, but hands are directly under the shoulders. Each foot is in its own lane of traffic. Pushing firmly through that left heel with the ability to wiggle the left toes. Take a deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take your time. Slow and controlled, stepping back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now spread your fingers as wide as they'll go. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose, like the top part of a push-up. Now check in. Now, feet can be hip distance apart. Feet can also be together. Together is a little bit harder. I like hip distance. All right, and hands are under the shoulders. Spread the fingers. Push fingertips down. Push the base of the pointer finger down. Make sure that the creases of your elbows are pointing forward. Now inhale as you shift forward. Exhale as you slowly lower. Keep the elbows in tight as you lower all the way down to the ground. Keep your hands where they're at. Just lift your hands up off the ground. Use the strength of your back to inhale, lift head, neck, chest, shoulders, arms, and hands. So feel the work in your low and mid back. Take a breath. Inhale, lower, bring the hands down under the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, now slowly pick up the right foot, reach the right heel back. Inhale. Exhale, draw your right knee in towards your belly. Quietly place that right foot in between your hands, placing it down. Pushing or pulling the foot is perfectly fine. You've just got to get it all the way forward. Hands under shoulders, maybe on blocks. Grounding through the right heel with the ability to wiggle the right toes. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Feet hip distance towards the top of the mat. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down, inhale, rise up. Fingertips reach up. We're gonna do that again. Exhale, hinge of the hips, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back. Okay. Now here is where we're gonna add another twist. So, making sure that your left hand is directly under the left shoulder. Really firm it up. Maybe it's on a block, maybe it's on the mat. Ground that hand. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale as you reach right fingertips up towards the sky, taking a twist. Now, anytime we twist, know that you can always keep your neck in neutral, or you can look over either shoulder. So here, looking down towards your left hand will be less in your neck. Looking up towards your right hand will be more in your neck. So listen to how your neck feels. But keep deeply bending that right knee, sending the right knee forward, grounding the right heel with the ability to wiggle the right toes. But draw the right inner thigh in towards your belly. Engage your inner leg, line in the right leg. Take one more deep breath here. Inhale, return the right hand down. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, spread the fingers wide. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. Now you know you can always drop to your knees or stay on your toes, but you're pushing your hands down to lift up and out of your armpits. Make sure that your chest is working. And then you're protecting your shoulders by drawing the creases of your elbows forward. You're protecting your wrists by pushing the whole hand down. Take one more deep breath here. Plank pose, work the front side, and then inhale, shift forward, exhale, slowly lower, all the way down. Tops of the feet down, hands under shoulders, but lift the hands. Inhale, lift the upper body. Push the hips down, push the pubic bone down to lift your upper body. Feel that work in your low and mid back. One more breath. Inhale, lower, bring the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. All right, now slowly pick up the left foot, reach the left heel back, inhale. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the belly and quietly place that left foot in between the hands. All right, each foot is in its own lane of traffic. We're gonna take that twist. Right hand is down, maybe on a block, maybe right on the mat. But make sure that the right hand is under the right shoulder. Inhale, reach crown of the head forward. Exhale, take the left fingertips to the sky as you take a twist. Again, looking up towards that left hand is gonna be more of a stretch in your neck. Looking down at the mat is gonna be less. That's generally the generally how it works. Okay, so push your left heel down and squeeze your left inner thigh in towards your torso. We want the left inner thigh to be working. Take a breath. Inhale, return that hand down. Exhale, step forward, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Push the heels down. Make sure hamstrings do the work as you rise. We're going to keep going. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step right into plank. Notice how you get there. Next round, I'm going to want you to take the opposite foot first. But we're right in a plank. Just hold it for just one breath. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, take the back bend of your choice. Maybe it's locust, maybe it's a baby cobra, maybe it's up dog, but take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, slowly lower the chest, come into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana for about 3 to 5 breaths, just to check in with how you're feeling. All right, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump into forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Push the heels down, inhale, rise. All the way up, make the legs do the work. We're doing just one more. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step to plank, lead with the other leg, with the other foot. Set yourself up in a plank, take one strong, big, deep breath here. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower, slow and controlled. Use your muscles. Inhale, take the back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 to 5 breaths, check in with yourself. Deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump forward. Fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Push the heels down. Inhale, rise. Reach, lift, up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring your hands through to your heart. Take a deep breath into Tadasana. All right, bring the feet a little bit closer together. Big toes will touch. A little bit of space between the heels. Inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, sink the hips down and back. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Feet together, knees together. Work in the quads, not in the calves. Drop your seat down, draw it back. Lengthen the spine. This is not a back bend. This is a neutral spine here. So there really shouldn't be much happening in your back. Relax your shoulders. Let's take 2 breaths here. Utkatasana, chair pose, fierce pose. Inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the right foot back, all the way back. Okay. Now we're going to bring the hands down, again, directly under the shoulders. We're going to pause here just in this runner's lunge. So your hands might be on blocks. They might be right on the mat. But we want a long stance with the legs. Really reach the right heel back. Push the left heel down. Okay. We're going to come to that same twist we've already done before. So right hand will stay down on the ground. Inhale, reach the crown of your head forward. Exhale, left fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe you look up. Maybe you look down. You can always look again to the side of the room as well. But listen to your neck. Okay, now draw the left heel down and draw the left shin forward towards the top of your mat. Draw your left inner thigh in towards your belly. Push the base of your left big toe down as you draw your right heel back, but you squeeze your inner thighs in. 2 more deep breaths here in this twisting lunge. Inhale, exhale, slowly return that left hand down. Okay, now really lift the right heel away from the ground, bend the right knee a little, push the left heel down and inhale, slowly rise to a crescent lunge. Okay, so now what I want for you here is to stretch through the front of your right hip. So again, really lifting that right heel up, bending that right knee, and then tucking the tailbone, like you're trying to get your belly button to point more towards your face. So you feel this length here in the front of the right hip. Let the arms reach up, soften the shoulders, 2 breaths.
Now a slow transition here. Inhale, exhale, warrior two. A slow transition. It's kind of a funky one. It's not the most ideal, but you can do it. Just make it slow. Okay. So now your right heel is firmly pushing down into the ground. Right toes more or less point towards the right side of the mat. Deeply bend the left knee, push both heels down, lengthen the spine, reach the arms out, relax the shoulders. Traditionally, we look over the left middle finger, but of course, you can always look to the side of the room. Let's take 2 breaths here. Okay. One last pose. Your right hand can come to your right thigh, right waist. Maybe take the half bind, back of the hand towards the lower back, but flip the left palm so it faces the ceiling. Inhale, deepen the lunge. Exhale, reverse warrior. Sweep those left fingertips up and over, but let the left shoulder drop away from the left ear. What we want is to lengthen the left side of the spine, of the torso. Can you imagine your left hip drawing down towards the floor, but the left armpit lifting up, not shrugging the shoulder, right? But opening through the side of the body. 2 more breaths here, reverse warrior. Okay, inhale, return, warrior 2, arms outstretched, stay for 1 breath here. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the arms, step back, downward facing dog. You've got 3 to 5 breaths to take any transition that you'd like before we keep moving. Okay. Now from wherever you're at, come into downward facing dog. Okay, from downward facing dog, deeply bend your knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Walk, step, or jump. Forward fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Circle the arms. Maybe at a back bend. Then slowly bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. All right, same thing second side. I moved around, but you stay where you're at. Okay, so let's bring the feet together. Big toes touch, space between the heels. Inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, sink the hips down and back. You can wiggle your toes. Your weight is back in your heels. That's gonna help you draw the weight of your torso, the weight of your body back and down. Quads working, not the calves, not the back. Lengthen the spine, reach the arms up, but relax the shoulders. 2 more breaths. Okay, inhale, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left foot back, all the way back. And we're starting in this runner's lunge stance. So all 10 toes are forward, left heel is off the ground. All right, deeply bend that right knee over the right ankle. You're pushing the right heel down with the freedom to wiggle the right toes. You're gonna firm up your left hand under your left shoulder, maybe on a block, maybe on the mat. But inhale, reach the crown of the head forward. Exhale as you reach right fingertips to the sky. Maybe look up, maybe look down, whatever you need, but take a twisting lunge. All right, left heel reaches back, but that left inner thigh squeezes in. Right heel pushes down and right shin draws forward, but right inner thigh squeezes in. Squeeze it in towards your torso. Draw the base of your right big toe down, but again, freedom to move the toes themselves. And really draw that left hand down like you're reaching right fingertips to the sky. 2 more breaths. Twisting lunge. Inhale, exhale, return that right hand down. Okay, really lift that left heel off the ground. Bend the left knee a little.
Push the right heel down and inhale, slowly rise to crescent lunge. Okay, arms will come up overhead, but soften the shoulders. So right knee is still deeply bending, heel pushing down, freedom to wiggle the toes. Left heel is lifted, left knee is bent, tailbone is tucked, open the front of the left hip. So when we work our core, a lot of times, just like the lower back wants to chime in when it shouldn't, hip flexors are the same way. They kind of want to chime in, even though they're not supposed to. So we want to open them up, signal to them, it's not your time. Okay. Reach the arms up, soften the shoulders, 2 more breaths. Okay. Slow transition here. Inhale. Exhale, open to warrior 2. There's no rush. Make it slow, make it smooth. Okay, warrior 2. Bend the right knee, ground the right heel, left heel pushing down, firmly pushing through the whole outside edge of that foot. Reach the arms out, soften the shoulders. You might look over your right middle finger, you might not. But let's take just 2 more breaths here. Warrior 2. Last pose right here. Left hand come to the waist, the thigh, or the half bind, but deeply bend the right knee. Inhale, flip the right palm to the ceiling. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reach those right fingertips up and over. Okay, now you're still sending your right knee forward and to the right. Right hip is still drawing down towards the floor. It's like you're reaching your right armpit up, not shrugging the shoulder. We want to create length in the right side of the body. So just like when we were sitting and we were reaching the arms up overhead, moving with the breath, we want that, but a little deeper, a little longer. Hold it 2 more breaths. Reverse warrior. Okay. Inhale, warrior 2, arms outstretched. Just 1 breath here. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel the arms, step back, down dog, 3 to 5 breaths, transition however you'd like. That might mean a child's pose, that might mean taking more work, whatever you need. Take 1 more breath where you're at. Then come to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. From down dog, deeply bend the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Forward fold Uttanasana. Walk, step, or jump. Forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Fingertips reach to the sky. Maybe you had a bit of a back bend. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Okay. All right, from here, we're gonna move around a little bit. I'm just gonna put my stuff back, but for the next pose, which is an arm balance, we're gonna come into side crow. So it's an arm balance and a twist. Of course, you have the option to skip it, do something else. Absolutely, we won't stay here too long. The emphasis of this entire sequence was to twist. So I thought, why not take this twist at the end if we're all ready for it, right? So I will walk you through it, but what we are gonna do is you are gonna turn, so the way you've been facing this long edge of your mat, the way that you've been facing this whole time, this is the top of your mat. I taught a kids class recently where you had to go over what's the top, what's the back, what's the, so this is the top of your mat. And so this is the top of your mat. This is the way you've been facing. This is the way mostly your fingertips have been pointing. Your proprioception in your body is oriented, is familiar with this, this direction. Okay.
but we are gonna turn a quarter turn to the right so that your toes are all facing a long edge of your mat, but we are going to eventually turn a quarter turn to the left so that hands will be back where they've been this whole time. So just for the next 30 or so seconds, you might be sort of looking over your shoulder or something to look at me, but you won't in a moment. Okay, so again, side crow, it's an option. You don't have to take it, that's okay, but I'm gonna walk you through it if you wanna join me. So feet hip distance, ground through the heels, inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Now you can stay here, take some pose here, or inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, bring your hands over to the left, bend your knees, let your heels come off the ground. So you're sort of in this squatted position. Heels will lift up, knees deeply bent, seat dropping down, hands over to the left. So you're placing your hands more or less sort of where they've been all along. This is what I mean, sort of your proprioception and your orientation. You've been used to placing your hands here with middle finger always towards the top of the mat. That helps. I say that because sometimes people practice crow, and for years I practiced side crow this way, and I could never figure out why it sort of felt off. That's why. Okay, so spread your fingers wide, bring your hands down. Now what we really want is the right arm to the outside of the left leg. So think about when we take twists like this, things like that. We want that same thing, just kind of upside down. So it's a little more challenging, but we want the right arm to the outside of the left leg by the outside of the left thigh. Hands are gonna come down like they would for a plank, for tabletop, for any one of these poses. You spread the fingers, you push down into the root of the base of the pointer finger and the fingertips themselves. Just like a crow, you lift your seat up a little bit, bend your elbows, make a little bit of a shelf with your tricep, with your upper arm bone. And you allow the left outer thigh to rest on that shelf that you've built. So if you can see, my elbows probably look something like a right angle. I'm really just letting the outer part of my left thigh resting on that shelf. So then that foot can easily come up off the ground. And then I look at some fixed spot over my right, and then I allow the right foot to lift up off the ground. And you can do lots of different crazy things with your legs, but we're not gonna be here very long. Take just a few more breaths here. If this is your pose and this feels good for you, this actually is one of my favorite arm balances, so I do really like this one. So I'll give you another, just take maybe 3 more breaths here, because we do have to keep moving. And then slowly come on back. We'll bring the hands back forward and just come back into forward fold. Come into a forward fold, feet about hip distance, just letting your upper body surrender to gravity. Maybe let it sway, maybe take a movement, maybe roll out the wrists, shake your head yes and no, whatever you need. Take 2 breaths here. All right, from forward fold, inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up, push the heels down, circle the arms, maybe add a back bend. Bring your hands to your heart, take a deep breath. Okay, same thing, second side. So I'm gonna have my back to you for just a moment, but again, we will be turning to face the top of our mat in just a moment. So now you're gonna turn to face over to the left side of your mat. All 10 toes are pointing over to the left side of the mat, and you're sort of in the center of your mat. We don't wanna be too close to the front. Okay, feet hip distance, push the heels down, inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, twisting over to your right, deeply bending the knees, let the heels come up off the ground. So your kneecaps are pointing to the left, but your hands are down and fingertips point towards the top of the mat. So again, instead of coming into this pose, you can take any other version, anything else here, maybe a malasana, maybe you stay in forward fold, whatever you need, take some vinyasas, but
Side crow, you're going to spread your fingers wide, middle finger forward, creases of the elbows forward so that you can bend your elbows and create a shelf. Now I'm going to fill you in on something I often do not admit to people. In side crow, in reality, your on this side, for example, your left arm would be basically taking all the weight, and your right arm wouldn't have anything resting on it. I like to kind of cheat. So if you want to watch for a second or do it with me or whatever, but notice that I allow my right hip to rest on the right tricep. In reality, if you see most other teachers doing this, it doesn't really quite look like that. It looks something like this, but it doesn't stay very long, and I've got a shoulder that can't take that. So I do a little bit of a cheat, and I'm okay with you doing that too, with, again, letting the outside edge of the thigh, the hip, and sort of the knee rest on that leg, and spreading your fingers, grounding the hands. Again, my shoulder doesn't feel like it wants to do this very long. I'll let you stay for a few more breaths. Try it, fall over, try it again. It's all just for fun. It's all just to explore. Take one more breath where you're at. And then let's come on back into forward fold. Again, facing over to the side of the mat. Coming into forward fold, just staying for a few moments, just letting the upper body hang. Roll out the wrist, shake the head yes and no. Let the torso sway. Whatever you need, take 3 breaths here. Okay. And then from forward fold, inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach fingertips to the sky. Maybe even look up. Slowly bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath. Okay. All right. So let's come on back to the top of the mat, facing the top of the mat. Come back where we've been. From here, we're going to cool down. Inhale, reach fingertips up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step back to what is your last downward facing dog. So your last opportunity for a vinyasa or some down dog variation. Let's take about 3 to 5 breaths here. You be where you need to be. All right, and then from down dog, deeply bend the knees. Let's come to tabletop. And from tabletop, we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs. We are truly just gonna cool down, stretch and relax. So coming down onto your back. Okay. All right, so resting here down on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Just give yourself a few moments here, a few breaths. Again, coming back to neutral. So we've been moving the spine in a lot of different ways. Again, mostly twisting. But all these different movements, again, it's good to come back to neutral. Down dog is also a neutral spine pose. But that sort of depends on a few things. If your hamstrings are real tight, then it's going to affect what's happening in your pelvis and your spine, and therefore, so everything sort of has this domino effect. But there are a lot of poses that we've done throughout the practice that are neutral spine poses, but this is like the best. This is like the one, right? So just a few more breaths here. Just let everything sort of reset, come back to neutral. You moved in so many ways, and now just let your spine just take a deep breath. All right, now right from here, you can let your arms come out in opposite directions, palms up, and just let the knees sway side to side. Now this is meant to be slow and gentle and easy. So making sure you're not putting in too much effort or force here. Let your legs sway in a comfortable way, coming back to a more passive, effortless, relaxing twist. Because we certainly have been twisting, but they were just more active. So can you take that twist and slow it down? Come to a more gentle twist. Now let your legs go to each side just a few more times. Now, slowly return your legs back to the center. Now we're going to take a twist. So you'll allow the hips to scoot a few inches over to the right and let the legs fall all the way over to the left and let them stay there. You can take a different leg variation. Maybe you keep your neck in neutral, nose to the sky. Maybe you turn at your neck to look over your right shoulder. We're going to take just a few breaths here. But the most important thing here is that this is a passive pose. This is a passive twist that you're able to soften, relax, release, and let go while you're here. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And if your head is turned, slowly return it to the center. Slowly return your legs back to the center, your hips to the center, everything back to neutral. Take a few breaths here. Now scoot the hips a few inches over to the left. Let the legs fall over to the right. Again, you can take a different leg variation. You might keep your neck in neutral or maybe look over your left shoulder. But take a comfortable twist, a comfortable stretch. Something that takes almost no effort, no work. This is meant to be passive. And the hope is that we can release tension. So release any work, release any exertion, release any tension. Soften into the stretch. 3 more breaths here. And if your head is turned, slowly return it to the center. Slowly do the same with your legs and your hips. Return everything back. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe you rock side to side, or maybe you take a happy baby. Whatever feels good, but stay where you're at, or taking some of these movements, these poses for a few more breaths before we settle into Shavasana. So in your own time, whenever you're ready, come on into Shavasana, coming down onto your back. Come on down onto your back. Take the Shavasana of your choice. Maybe legs long, maybe knees bent, maybe legs at the wall. Coming into your pose. A pose where little to no work is happening and you can rest. Where again, all of your muscles can release any tension. Where all of your joints can release their stress. Where your breath is smooth, fluid, and relaxed. And you are at peace.
Gently deepen your breath and create soft movements throughout your body. Let your head rock from side to side. Run your thumbs over the rest of your fingers as you wiggle your toes. Roll wrists and ankles. Move arms and legs. Maybe you reach your arms overhead, stretching as if you just woke up from a long nap. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your knees into your chest. And slowly roll over onto either side in a tucked fetal position. Keeping your eyes closed and using the strength of both arms, push down into the ground and come up to a comfortable seat. Take a moment here to thank yourself for making it to your mat today. And maybe reflect on your intention. Loka samasta sukhi no bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Now we'll join our hands together in front of the heart in Anjali Mudra. And to seal our practice, we'll chant the sound of Om one time. Let's start with a deep and clearing breath. Inhale for Om. The light or the good in me acknowledges, respects, and bows to the light or the good in you. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, this was a Vinyasa flow practice focusing on twists. Goodness gracious. I'm sorry we moved a little quickly. There's some of those parts I gotta glance at the clock and was like, we gotta move. So I will probably be doing another twisting sequence soon because we had to cut a little section out that I really liked. We were running out of time. And I would rather cut out poses than rush the end, than rush Shavasana and cut anything else there. So thanks for joining me. And again, I'll probably be doing another one of these soon. So look out for that. Thank you so much for joining me and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.